Women today expect men to compete for them, but something strange happens when they finally meet a man who won't play the game. She walks into the date assuming she's the prize. She's already pre-writing the caption for her Instagram story, already imagining the free steak dinner, already planning to ghost him afterward. Then he does something she never expected. He chooses himself. Let me tell you exactly what happens when entitlement meets a man with boundaries. Modern dating has created a mindset where some women believe a man should audition for the role of boyfriend while she simply exists. I see videos every week. My date didn't pick me up. My date didn't book a $300 dinner. My date didn't compliment me. Enough. Not once did they ask, what did I bring? A friend told me about a date he went on last month. She arrives wearing designer clothes, but forgets basic manners. She spends half the date taking selfies, orders a meal she can't pronounce, and barely listens to a single thing he says. When the check comes, he slides it to her politely and says, "Let's split." She freezes. You think he asked her for a kidney? She storms out, spends the night ranting on TikTok, and somehow convinces herself she was the victim. But here's the truth. High value men are done rewarding entitlement. These men didn't build careers, discipline, and stability just to hand their hard-earned resources to someone who thinks showing up is enough. They don't fall for manipulation, they don't reward disrespect, and they don't fear walking away. I know a guy who had a date demand that he Uber across town, pick her up, take her to a luxury restaurant, and stop at a rooftop bar afterward. He said, "I don't audition for women. I date equals." She said, "Then you're not a real man." He replied, "Then you're not a real partner." Game over. She tried texting later. He didn't. And the cultural gap makes all of this even funnier. American women travel to Norway expecting men to act like movie characters. Norwegian men hand them a list of hiking trails and expect them to pay for their own drinks. Suddenly, it's men that are rude. No, they're just not programmed to worship strangers. Women go to South Korea thinking K-drama fantasies are real. Then they discover Korean men expect loyalty, effort, and reciprocity, not just beauty filters and attitude. The shock, delicious. Meanwhile, men are learning fast. They test, they observe, they filter. Suggest a park walk. If she says, "That's cheap," she's out. Suggest a simple cafe. If she rolls her eyes, she's out. Suggest splitting the bill. If she starts preaching about real men, she's out. Men aren't being sheep, they're being strategic. They're protecting themselves. One guy I know uses what he calls the vibe test. First date, $5 coffee. If she's kind, engaged, and warm, date 2 is great. If she's cold, distracted, or demanding, he saves himself both money and sanity. Meanwhile, social media has become a circus of entitlement. Women post stories about trash men simply because he didn't upgrade their lifestyle. They post dating advice like never pay, never initiate, never try. Make him do all the work. And then they cry when men stop dating them altogether. The best part? When they meet a man who has options, real options, the meltdown is that tactics don't work. The silent treatment doesn't work. The jealousy games don't work. The threats don't work. He's not desperate. He's not lonely. He's not intimidated. He simply doesn't need someone who brings chaos instead of value. I once saw a woman try to train a man on their second date. You should have brought flowers. You should have made reservations at a better place. You should have dressed nicer. He smiled and said, "You should find another guy," and walked away. She was speechless. Here's what women with entitlement don't understand. Men today have global access. They can travel, work remote, and date anywhere on earth. They meet women who are kind, feminine, educated, respectful, and suddenly they realize they don't have to tolerate someone who thinks they're a walking wallet. When entitled women say, "Where have all the good men gone?" the answer is simple. They left. They built options. And they refuse to be emotionally or financially exploited. The future belongs to people who bring value, not demands. So here's my question to you. What's the most entitled thing you've seen in modern dating? Drop it below. Let's talk about it because the entitlement era is ending. And Standards are making a comeback.